On a cold May morning in 1965 at Marjah Square in Damascus, the capital of Syria, a tragic death unfolded before more than 10,000 people. Without a shred of mercy, a man was publicly hanged, a death reminiscent of the Middle Ages. He was Eli Cohen, Mossad's Agent 88, whose death became a harsh lesson for the world of intelligence. But for Israel, he was a hero, a man who provided invaluable intelligence that helped alter the course of the Six-Day War and reshape the map of the Middle East. Why was such a brilliant spy exposed? How did he manage to infiltrate so deeply that he was nearly appointed Syria's Deputy Minister of Defense? His story is not just a page of history, but a real-life spy thriller more gripping than any novel. This is the story of a man who sacrificed everything for his homeland. Join us as we explore these dramatic historical stories. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to help us reach 200 subscribers. Let's go back to Eli Cohen's childhood and turning point in Egypt. Eliyahu ben Shaul. Cohen was born on December 26, 1924, in Alexandria, Egypt. He grew up in a traditional Jewish family with roots in Aleppo, Syria. Though not wealthy, his family placed great value on education and spiritual principles. From a young age, Eli showed himself to be a serious, studious boy. He spent much of his free time reading and studying, nurturing a humble yet noble dream to become a Jewish rabbi. His passion for knowledge led him to enroll in a prestigious religious school. However, that door to knowledge closed when the school was shut down by Egyptian authorities. Undeterred, Eli continued his education at Cairo University, where he was exposed to new ideas and rising political movements. It was here that his fervor took a new direction. Alongside other young Jews, Eli Cohen joined the Zionist movement, which aimed to establish an independent Jewish state in Palestine, later Israel. Eli was not just a passionate supporter, but an active participant. He engaged in clandestine activities helping Jews escape Egypt to safely immigrate to Israel. These activities drew the attention of Egyptian intelligence. With his innate linguistic talent, he was fluent in Arabic, including various dialects, Hebrew, English, French, and Spanish. This extraordinary ability greatly aided his covert operations, but also made him a target of suspicion. Nilan Miantanian, from suspicion to expulsion. Eli Cohen's life took a dramatic turn when he was arrested and interrogated by Egyptian intelligence. Although no concrete evidence was found to convict him, his involvement in Zionist activities put him under scrutiny. He was interrogated twice, but was fortunate to be released. The greatest turning point came in 1956 during the Suez Crisis. Political tensions between Egypt and Israel escalated sharply. Tens of thousands of Jews were expelled from Egypt by the authorities, and Eli Cohen's family was among them. They were forced to leave everything behind and immigrate to Israel. Struggles and alienation in Israel. Arriving in Israel, Eli Cohen carried hopes of a new life in his homeland. However, reality was harsher than he expected. He faced significant difficulties finding stable work and resorted to odd jobs to make ends meet. Despite his burning patriotism, he felt like an outsider, a refugee unable to fully integrate into the new society. This sense of alienation gnawed at him for a long time, driving him to seek ways to contribute and prove himself. During this period, he married Nadia Mayald, a Jew of Iraqi descent, and they had 3 children, Sophie, Erit, and Shai. His happy family life became a solid anchor, but it could not extinguish his burning desire to serve his homeland. His invaluable experience in Egypt, combined with his exceptional linguistic skills and unwavering determination made him an ideal candidate for a special mission. T. 3. The path to becoming a Mossad spy. This was the most pivotal phase where an ordinary man was forged into one of history's greatest spies. Unexpected recruitment and rigorous training. Eli Cohen had nearly given up hope after being rejected by Mossad. Disappointed, he accepted a mundane job at an insurance company, a role that demanded little of his talents and offered none of the sense of purpose he craved. But at that moment, his file caught the eye of Amit, Mossad's new director. Amit, a visionary leader, sought not cinematic action heroes, but individuals with the ability to blend in with intelligence and perseverance. He saw in Eli a unique blend of patriotism, life experience, and exceptional linguistic skills, rare qualities needed for a critical operation. After secretly observing Eli for some time, Mossad approached him with an unexpected offer. Eli didn't hesitate. He immediately abandoned his ordinary life and stepped into a completely new world. His training, lasting 6 grueling months, took place at a covert Mossad facility where he was schooled in both basic and advanced espionage techniques. He learned to use Morse code and ciphers for secure communication, operate cutting-edge communication devices of the time, and take photographs undetected. One of his most critical skills was drawing maps from memory. After observing an area for mere seconds, he had to accurately recreate every detail of terrain building locations and defensive positions. Additionally, he was trained in physical fitness, self-defense, and disguise. He learned to alter his voice gate and even thought processes to fully assimilate into a different culture. A key part of his training was mastering the Syrian dialect to avoid detection. Eli Cohen's perseverance and adaptability deeply impressed his instructors. Serbi Wazari Sarizai, The Birth of Kamal, Amin, Thabet. To prepare for his role as a spy, Eli Cohen had to shed his identity and become someone else. The persona crafted by Mossad was Kamal Amin Thabet, a wealthy Syrian businessman, single and longtime resident of Buenos Aires, Argentina. Kamal Thabet was portrayed as a devout Muslim with strong anti-Israel views. The plan was for Kamal to return to the Middle East as a patriot eager to invest in and support his homeland. Eli's first task was to build Kamal Thabet's image. In February 1961, Mossad sent him to Buenos Aires, where he spent a year establishing his reputation. He rented a luxurious apartment in the city's most upscale area, bought an expensive car, and immersed himself in the social activities of the local Arab community. As Kamal, Eli was generous, hosting lavish parties and giving costly gifts to influential figures. He frequently expressed fervent support for the Syrian regime and strongly condemned Israel. It was in Buenos Aires that fortune smiled on Eli. He befriended Amin al-Hafiz, a Syrian military attaché in Argentina. At the time, al-Hafiz was a low-ranking officer, but he would later rise to become Syria's president. This close relationship became a golden ticket, enabling Eli Cohen to infiltrate Syria's highest echelons of power. Eli Cohen's life in Buenos Aires was a series of lonely days. He lived in a glamorous but cold facade, always cautious with every action and word. The longing for home, his wife and 3 young children weighed heavily on his heart, but he understood that this sacrifice was necessary. P4. Infiltrating the Lion's Den and Silent Triumphs. After a year of meticulously crafting the persona of Kamal Amin Thabet in Buenos Aires in January 1962, Eli Cohen was ready to enter the most critical phase of his mission. He left Argentina, carrying a polished reputation, extensive connections, and a top-secret assignment. His journey took him to Damascus, the capital of Syria, Mossad, establishing a base and blending into high society. Upon arriving in Damascus, Eli Cohen, as Kamal Thabet, swiftly integrated into the city's elite. He rented a luxurious apartment in the upscale Abu Rumane district, strategically located near government offices and the residences of military officers. This location was no coincidence. It allowed him to eavesdrop on conversations, monitor officials' activities, and establish a covert communication network. As he did in Buenos Aires, Eli Cohen used wealth and generosity to deepen his societal penetration. He hosted extravagant parties with fine wine and food, inviting high-ranking government officials, military officers, businessmen, and celebrities. During these events, Kamal Thabet presented himself as a fervent Syrian patriot. He praised the regime, condemned Israel, and expressed a desire to invest in the country's development. In the relaxed atmosphere of these gatherings, guests often let their guard down, inadvertently revealing critical military and political secrets. With his extraordinary memory and spy's finesse, Eli Cohen collected this information with remarkable efficiency. Ilmani, deep infiltration, and golden intelligence. Through his cunning and relationship-building skills, Kamal Amin Thabet quickly became a respected figure in Syria's high society. His close ties with Amin al-Hafiz, who had returned from Argentina and was rising through the military ranks, opened doors to Syria's most powerful circles. Remarkably, Eli was even considered for the role of Deputy Minister of Defense, an almost unthinkable achievement for a foreign spy. During his time in Damascus, Eli Cohen provided Mossad with a wealth of invaluable intelligence. He relayed information about Syria's military plans, political assassinations, and internal government dynamics. One of his greatest accomplishments was gathering detailed intelligence on Syria's 3 defensive lines in the Golan Heights. On one occasion, Eli was invited to tour military fortifications in the Golan. There, he meticulously memorized the locations of bunkers, underground tunnels, and defensive positions. To ensure accuracy, he made a seemingly innocent suggestion, planting eucalyptus trees around the fortifications to provide shade for soldiers. The Syrian authorities approved this idea. In reality, these trees became perfect markers, enabling the Israeli Air Force to pinpoint and strike key positions during the Six-Day War in 1967. Additionally, Eli provided detailed intelligence on Syria's plan to divert the Jordan River, a project aimed at disrupting Israel's water supply. This information allowed Israel to prepare and respond effectively, leading to a conflict known as the Water War. Malian returns and growing unease. Throughout his time in Damascus, Eli Cohen periodically returned to Israel to report and reunite with his family. These trips were fraught with danger. Each time he brought back rolls of film containing critical intelligence he had secretly photographed. His final return to Israel was in November 1964. He reunited with his wife Nadia and their 3 young children, seeing his youngest son Shay for the first time as the child was born during his mission. The longing for home and the weight of isolation took a toll on him. He confided to his wife that this would be his last mission. He sensed a shift in Syria's political climate with growing suspicion from the new leadership. Though he wanted to stop, Mossad urged him to continue as his intelligence was too valuable. Eli Cohen returned to Damascus unaware that this would be his final journey. The change in regime, with Amin al-Hafiz becoming president, complicated the situation. One of al-Hafiz's advisors, Ahmed Suwaidani, head of military intelligence, grew suspicious of Kamal Thabet. Eli Cohen's communication network came under close scrutiny, and his fate was sealed. His heroic life was about to reach a tragic end. 5. The tragic collapse and death sentence. After his final trip to Israel, Eli Cohen returned to Damascus with a sense of foreboding. Though he pleaded with Mossad to end his mission, the value of his intelligence was too great, and he was compelled to continue. Tragically, his premonition proved true, and fate awaited him. A risky exposure. The exact reasons for Eli Cohen's exposure remain a subject of debate, but historical records and Mossad analyses point to several key factors. One was the change in Syria's regime. The 1963 coup brought the Ba'ath Party to power, and Ahmed Suwaidani, head of Syrian military intelligence, was a deeply suspicious and distrustful figure. He ordered a sweep of all electronic communication channels in Damascus. Another theory suggests that information about Eli Cohen's activities was leaked through the United States. A man named Majid Sheikh al-Ard, who had assisted Eli in covert operations in Buenos Aires, met with a former Nazi officer, Franz Rademacher. Information about a special Syrian businessman was allegedly passed to Syrian intelligence by Rademacher, though this theory remains unconfirmed. The most widely accepted cause was heightened security measures. Under Suwaidani's direction, Syria's counterintelligence launched a comprehensive operation to detect espionage activities. Using Soviet-supplied equipment, they monitored radio signals. During a routine check, they detected an unusual signal emanating from Eli Cohen's apartment in Abu Rumane. The final moment of freedom. On January 24, 1965, as Eli Cohen was transmitting a radio message to Israel, Syrian agents stormed his apartment. The door was broken down, and an armed team rushed in. They found him with an active radio transmitter, undeniable evidence. Eli Cohen was arrested, but remained remarkably calm. He used his trained skills to cope. During interrogations, he stayed silent, refusing to reveal any information about Mossad or other agents. Initially, Syrian intelligence was uncertain of his true identity, suspecting he was a foreign spy, possibly from the US or a European nation. However, after days of brutal interrogation and torture, Eli Cohen was forced to admit his true identity. He hoped that revealing he was Israeli would lead to treatment as a prisoner of war, but this hope was shattered. The Syrian regime viewed him as a dangerous criminal and decided to put him on public trial as a deterrent. The trial and harsh sentence. Eli Cohen's trial was held in a military court far from fair. He was denied an independent defense lawyer. Instead, a government-appointed attorney was assigned. His testimony and evidence were distorted, and the outcome was predetermined from the start. Israel and Eli Cohen's family did everything possible to save him. They mobilized international organizations, foreign governments, and even Pope Paul VI to intervene. Israeli Prime Minister Levi Eshkol sent a message to Syria offering a prisoner exchange for Eli Cohen, but all efforts were rejected. At the trial, Eli Cohen was charged with espionage and treason. Though he had provided invaluable intelligence to Israel in Syria, he was deemed the most dangerous enemy. The court convicted him of treason and sentenced him to death. In his final days, he was visited by a Syrian rabbi, and he wrote a heartfelt letter to his wife, Nadia. In it, he expressed his love and regret for the pain he caused her and their children. He urged her to raise their children to be good people and to live a happy life. A tragic end. At dawn on May 18, 1965, Eli Cohen, once one of the most brilliant spies, was brought to Marjay Square. His body was publicly hanged for hours as a warning to others. His sacrifice became a symbol, but also an enduring pain for his family and nation. 6. A heroic death and enduring legacy. At dawn on May 18, 1965, in Marjay Square, Damascus, Eli Cohen's fate was sealed. Major General Ahmed Suwaidani, head of Syrian military intelligence, closely oversaw this public execution. Eli Cohen's body was left hanging on the gallows, witnessed by over 10,000 people as a cold and brutal warning. The Syrian government kept his body on display for 6 hours, a final humiliation to Israel and its Western allies. Afterward, his body was taken down and secretly buried in a Jewish cemetery in Damascus. Years later, Syrian authorities moved his remains to a military bunker, and all traces of his burial site vanished. The family's pain and futile efforts. After Eli Cohen's death, grief consumed his family. His wife Nadia and brother Maurice relentlessly fought to bring his body home. Immediately after his execution, Israel tried every avenue to persuade Syria to return his remains, but all efforts failed. In 1970, Israel conducted a covert operation to exhume his grave, but they dug up the wrong one. Syrian authorities, aware of this, moved his body to a secret location. Over the decades, Nadia and Maurice continued their arduous struggle, writing to the United Nations, meeting world leaders, and seeking help from international organizations. To this day, over 60 years later, they have not fulfilled their final wish. An enduring legacy and new discoveries. Though Eli Cohen's body could not return home, his spirit and legacy live on. In Israel, he is revered as a national hero. Street squares and parks are named after him in honor of his noble sacrifice. His name has become a symbol of courage, resilience, and patriotism. His story inspires generations of Israelis, reminding them of the silent sacrifices made to protect their homeland. In recent years, advancements in technology and shifts in the political landscape have enabled Mossad to achieve notable successes in preserving Eli Cohen's legacy. In 2018, through a special intelligence operation, Mossad recovered Eli Cohen's wristwatch from Syria. This watch, a gift from a close friend in Syria, was not just a keepsake, but a vivid testament to his presence in Damascus and the relationships he built. In 2025, following the collapse of the Assad regime, a vast archive of Syrian government documents was recovered. Among them, Mossad agents found a treasure trove of information, over 2,500 documents, including letters, photographs, Eli Cohen's forged passports, and even the will he wrote before his execution. These documents shed new light on his life and death, offering deeper insight into his covert years in Damascus. Notably, the farewell letter he wrote to his family was made public, moving many with its profound love and immense sacrifice. Eli Cohen's legacy is not only in his intelligence triumphs, it lies in the unanswered question of his final resting place. Will his body one day return to his homeland to rest beside his family, or will he forever remain an unknown soldier secretly buried in enemy soil? A timeless saga and lasting inspiration. The story of Eli Cohen's life is not just a heroic chapter of history, it is a profound lesson, an immortal testament to courage, resilience, and the meaning of patriotism. From the moment he was publicly executed at Marjay Square to his family's tireless efforts to bring him home, this story has become a timeless symbol, shaping a nation's identity and inspiring generations. More than an intelligence triumph. Eli Cohen's operation is considered one of the greatest successes in intelligence history. By infiltrating Syria's highest echelons, he provided invaluable information. His photographs, maps, and detailed reports on Syrian fortifications in the Golan Heights enabled Israel to achieve a swift victory in the Six-Day War of 1967. Without this intelligence, Israel's casualties could have been far greater, and the war's outcome might have been different. But his value extended beyond military intelligence. His political insights helped Israel understand internal power struggles, leadership tensions, and Syrian government plans. This information enabled Israel to make informed diplomatic and military decisions, maintaining security in a volatile region. Yet what makes Eli Cohen's legacy truly great is not just his success, but his sacrifice. He gave up a normal life and a happy family to enter a world fraught with danger and isolation. Every day he lived as Kamal, Amin, Thabet was a day he battled homesickness and deception. His sacrifice serves as a reminder that freedom and national security sometimes come at the cost of profound personal loss. His sacrifice is an eternal reminder of what it takes to protect a nation, and for Israel, he will forever be a hero who gave everything for his homeland. Join us in continuing to explore dramatic historical stories like this one. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay updated with more captivating content.